Welcome back to the Paranormal State, Washington, and UFO UAP. With McCullough, a lifelong experiencer and ET contactee since 1990. Today's episode, 07 Ellensburg Lights, 1952. The Ellensburg Lights of 1952 remain a compelling chapter in regional UFO history, drawing renewed focus to the high desert crossroads of Ellensburg, Washington. Nestled at the eastern foothills of the Cascade Range, where Interstate 90 meets Interstate 82. The city began as the Native American trading site Clehohan before becoming the frontier outpost Robbers Roost in 1867. Founded officially as Ellensburg in 1872 by John Shouty, named for his wife, Mary Ellen, and later streamlined by the United States Post Office in 1894. The town experienced a massive railway boom by 1886. Though a devastating fire on July 4, 1889, dashed its bid to become the state capital, awarded instead to Olympia, residents rapidly rebuilt the historic brick commercial core that stands today. Supported by agriculture, global Timothy hay exports, the historic Ellensburg Rodeo, and Central Washington University, established in 1891, the high desert community commands a strategic transit and mountain pass corridor that has long intersected with regional UAP history. The Central Washington Nuclear Axis, Ellensburg, the Cascades, and the Hanford Plutonium Pipeline. While Ellensburg, Washington is widely celebrated as a historic agricultural hub, a gateway to the Cascade Mountains, and home to Central Washington University, its geography places it on the periphery of one of the most significant nuclear production zones in human history, the Hanford site. The connection between Ellensburg and the production of weapons-grade plutonium during the Manhattan Project and the Cold War is rooted in regional transit, geography, and the vast infrastructural footprint of Washington State's atomic legacy. The Hanford site, codenamed Site W, during World War II occupies 580 square miles of semi-arid desert in southeastern Washington, roughly 90 miles southeast of Ellensburg. Situated just across the Saddle Mountains and down the agricultural corridors of the Yakima and Columbia River basins, Ellensburg shares the same Central Washington high desert ecosystem that cradled the nation's primary plutonium production engine. During the height of the Manhattan Project and the Cold War, the secret industrial complex at Hanford relied on an expansive network of regional rail lines, highways, and staging areas across Central Washington to move raw materials, specialized equipment, and a massive transient workforce. Ellensburg served as a natural logistical gateway, connecting the mountain passes of western Washington to the isolated desert installations in the east. To understand why Central Washington's geography intersected with the atomic age, one must trace the literal path of the material produced just miles downriver from Ellensburg. At Hanford's historic B reactor and subsequent production complexes, uranium was irradiated to create plutonium-239. The resulting plutonium nitrate produced at Hanford was packed and shipped out of the Pacific Northwest via secure transport networks, frequently moving through regional transit corridors toward the Manhattan Project's theoretical headquarters at Los Alamos, New Mexico, where it was transformed into the metallic core pit used in the Trinity test and the Fat Man bomb dropped on Nagasaki. The shadow of Hanford and the broader nuclear complex has deeply influenced regional art, historical inquiry, and academic research across Central Washington. Regional institutions, including art on culture spaces in Ellensburg, such as Gallery 1, have occasionally hosted exhibitions exploring the geopolitical and environmental legacy of the nuclear age, tracking the complex web of materials moving from Hanford across the American West. Central Washington communities, including researchers and watchdog groups operating in proximity to Kittitas and Benton counties, have spent decades monitoring the multi-billion-dollar environmental cleanup of Hanford's radioactive waste tanks, ensuring that the regional impact of America's plutonium-driven history remains a vital local conversation. The sighting occurred on January 24, 1952, in Ellensburg, Washington. Numerous residents of Ellensburg and surrounding areas reported seeing the lights. Witnesses included local law enforcement officers, which added credibility to the reports. Witnesses described seeing multiple bright lights moving rapidly across the night sky. The lights were reported to change colors, shifting from red to blue to white. The objects displayed unusual flight patterns, including sharp turns, rapid ascents, and hovering, which seemed beyond the capabilities of known aircraft at the time. Local newspapers and radio stations quickly picked up the story, generating significant local interest and some national attention. The sighting received coverage in the press, with various theories being proposed about the nature of the lights, ranging from natural phenomena to secret military tests. The Ellensburg lights added to the growing list of UFO sightings in the early 1950s, contributing to public curiosity and speculation about extraterrestrial visitors and unidentified flying objects. The U.S. Air Force, already investigating UFO reports through Project Blue Book, became interested in the Ellensburg lights. Investigators interviewed witnesses and attempted to gather physical evidence. Some officials suggested that the lights could be attributed to atmospheric conditions, reflections, or misidentified conventional aircraft. However, the lights' erratic movements and color changes made these explanations less convincing to some. The Air Force continued to monitor reports from the Ellensburg area and other regions, seeking patterns and potential explanations for the increasing number of UFO sightings. The Ellensburg lights added to the UFO lore of the 1950s, a decade marked by numerous high-profile sightings and growing public interest in the possibility of extraterrestrial life. The sighting increased reporting of similar phenomena in the region as people became more aware and open about sharing their experiences with UFOs. Like many other UFO sightings, the Ellensburg lights remain a topic of interest and debate among researchers and enthusiasts. The lack of a definitive explanation continues to fuel speculation and investigation. The Ellensburg lights of January 24, 1952, represent a significant UFO sighting involving multiple witnesses and credible reports. The lights' unusual behavior and appearance captured public and governmental attention, contributing to the broader narrative of UFO encounters in the mid-20th century. While the historical ties between central Washington and the broader nuclear corridor establish a serious baseline of defense monitoring, the region surrounding Ellensburg has cultivated a parallel reputation for deep woods folklore, high strangeness, and persistent anomalous reports. Situated right where the Cascade Mountains meet the high desert, the rugged terrain west and north of Ellensburg has become a legendary crucible for ongoing modern phenomena. Perhaps the most famous piece of modern high strangeness, tied directly to the Ellensburg area, is the urban legend of Mel's Hole. In February 1997, a caller identifying himself as Mel Waters appeared on Art Bell's late-night radio program, broadcasting out of nearby Pahrump Regional Syndication. Waters claimed he owned a piece of rural property, roughly 9 miles west of Ellensburg, containing a bottomless pit. According to Waters, the hole had an unknown depth, claiming to have lowered tens of thousands of feet of fishing line without hitting bottom. Tales soon multiplied involving strange rays, levitating properties, and government agents abruptly seizing the land. While local geologists and public records thoroughly debunked the physical existence of the bottomless pit, the legend of Mel's Hole cemented Ellensburg in paranormal lore. It drew an influx of investigators, independent researchers, and self-described medicine men hunting for secret underground military installations, connected to the region's broader classified history. The Pacific Northwest consistently ranks among the most active regions in the United States for unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP. Central Washington sits right beneath heavy commercial flight vectors and active military training routes tied to regional bases. The dramatic topography of the Cascade Passes, including Snoqualmie Pass just west of Ellensburg, creates unique meteorological conditions, radar anomalies, and natural flight bottlenecks. Local residents, hikers traversing the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, and commercial pilots navigating central Washington frequently log reports with organizations like the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC. These reports often describe silent, luminous orbs tracking ridge lines, geometric clusters of lights moving against high-altitude winds, or objects performing sharp trajectory changes that evade conventional radar classification. Ellensburg occupies a unique intersection point where multiple streams of mystery collide. Sitting just a short distance northwest of the Hanford Nuclear Reservation, and within the broad air defense umbrella of western Washington military installations, the skies above Kittitas County have long experienced intense oversight. Just as towns like McMinnville, Oregon, or Rachel, Nevada, became cultural hubs for anomalous inquiry, Ellensburg shares the broader Pacific Northwest ethos, where deep wilderness, indigenous oral histories, modern aerospace testing, and persistent UFO reports blend into the continuous living tapestry of the unknown. The Ellensburg Lights of 1952 is another intriguing case in the history of UFO sightings, contributing to the ongoing fascination with unidentified aerial phenomena. Nestled just east of the Cascade Range in central Washington, Ellensburg serves as the seat of Kittitas County and a vital geographical crossroads at the junction of Interstate 90 and Interstate 82. Known historically as a rugged frontier outpost, a center for higher education, and a gateway to the Pacific Northwest has dramatic interior landscapes, Ellensburg possesses a rich background deeply tied to the expansion of the American West. To be continued. Watch and listen. Watch the cinematic video trailer. Listen to the full podcast now. Explore the archive Cosmic Awakening Volume 1, 1991, Peru, Journey into the Unknown. Sacred Valley of the Incas. Volume 2, Ascension 2012, The Golden Alchemy. Part 3, The First Contact and the Paranormal State. Join the journey. New episodes drop periodically. Each chapter delivers a tight, hyper-focused 10 to 30-minute exploration into the evolution of ufology, perfect for your daily plunge into decoding hidden messages from outer space, designed to raise awareness and foster human evolution. Subscribe to support your inner development. Thumbs up to help push our channel through the algorithm. Comment below. Share your thoughts on today's episode.